Hello everyone, this is dream number 10 regarding the church today. I just want to mention that I noticed that I've got a couple of the dream numbers mixed up. So just I've edited on the titles. If you just check there, I've straightened it out there. And just maybe you can identify by the pictures. Sorry about that. So this dream, I was sleeping one night and I had another dream. And this is dream number 10 regarding the church and cover charge and the street. So what this was about was I went into, this is my city this time, and I walked into where I knew of this church building. I walked into there and I went to go, I thought, well, I'll visit this church service. So I went to go in and I had been there before, no problem getting in. And this time I went though, and I tried to get in and someone was at the door and came and blocked me. And I tried to sort of look around him, and it was all dark, and there was a band on stage, and the band looked like a rock band, and it was dark, and it kind of reminded me of a bar. And the guy at the door reminded me of a bouncer in a bar in the old days. So anyway, I says, well, I wanted to come in, and he said, okay, well, there's a $10 cover charge to get in, which is also what the old bars, they used to have a cover charge before you could get in your local bar. Most of the time that was common back then, a bar where there was, drinking and partying and all that. So I says, oh, I forgot to bring any money. I don't have any money on me. Can I get in? And he said, no. And so I said, okay. And I went and I stepped aside and I was waiting in the hallway, and I was kind of like, well, wow. So I watched, and there was people came off of the street like homeless and others off of the street. And they came as I watched and observed, standing aside. They came up and tried to get in, and he says, you can't come to church in here because you have to have a cover charge. And of course they were homeless, or some of them off the street, and said, well, we don't have any money. And he says, well, you can't get in. And they, were kind of upset, and he just basically like, away you go. You can't come in. You have to have the $10 cover charge. So they were disappointed, and they started to walk away. And so I was very grieved about that and angry. And I went up to the guy and at the door, and I said, listen, they're homeless and some of them off the street, and they don't have the money. You're not going to let them into a church. And he says, no, they don't have, nobody can get in without a cover charge. And so I said, I was angry, and I says, well, I seen them start to walk away, and I was angry at the guy at the door, and I said, well then, the guy who was asking for the cover charge, and I says, well then, if that's what this is about, then I said, I don't want anything to do with it. I'll go and have church with them on the street. And they were walking out, and I went and ran up and joined them, and we went out onto Dundas Street, and that's in Ontario. And I woke up. That's the end of that one.